how far they're willing to go to make this a really bleak movie could be what helps Fantastic Four stand out in a very crowded month of July. Because when we talk about Galactus like devouring a planet, he doesn't bite it like an orange.
Who bites an orange? What are you talking about?
I do. I'm a madman.
No, you're a crazy person.
The peel. You just eat the peel. It's the best part.
What are you talking about? You could have said an apple.
Really now, after this trailer, they're going after the audience who like misses movies like Deep Impact and Armageddon and like wish that Don't Look Up didn't have so much preaching in it. Welcome back to New Rockstars. Did the trailer for Fantastic Four First Steps spoil its own bleak ending by showing the Earth of this movie being obliterated? And if this doomed planet is not Earth, what is it? Happy Easter, we're all gonna die. What a way to celebrate our Lord and Savior resurrecting.
Yeah, what if this is Judgment Day? What if Galactus is just, to be fair, I bet when Galactus did show up, people were like, no, this is my God.
Yeah.
This is my God.
I mean, it's like the people writing Thanos is right on the urinal.
Yeah.
There would be some true believers.
Yes. Oh, I would believe in Galactus immediately, but that would have been out of just pure fear. And first off, if you're also wondering what this is the sneak peek. Yeah. We're talking about the future of fandom with you, with our hosts, Erik Voss and Jessica Clemons.
So good to be with you here on this Easter Sunday morning. I hope you're not watching this while you're in the back pew at whatever church service you're at. But if you are, kudos. Well done. Find a way to hack the screen at your church and just project this new Rockstars video up on it, because you know what? We're going to be preaching some Old Testament beliefs at you, but an Old Testament God by the name of Galactus and what planet he's destroying. Actually, you know what? Just pause the video and watch it later.
Pause the video, watch it later. What if Galactus just leaves giant eggs everywhere? Oh, no, he's just gonna walk through us. Okay. He's literally stepping on our world.
He's hunting for Easter eggs, as we do through these trailers. All right, so what we're gonna do in this video is talk about this Fantastic Four First Steps trailer. And there's a lot of crazy shit in this trailer. I was shocked how much they showed. I'm not at all surprised that the discourse glided in the direction of Silver Surfer and suddenly being very respectful of the 2007 Rise of the Silver Surfer movie.
I love the Rise of the Silver Surfer.
You know what? It's the better of the two movies, and the Silver Surfer scenes are pretty great. Doug Jones and Lawrence Fishburne made a pretty great character there, and but everything else around it in that movie is not that great.
No, it isn't. But I was like, 13, and I was like, I love the Silver Surfer.
I'm speaking English, which is great for when I'm at home, but when I travel, I want to speak the local language. That's part of the fun. And now, thanks to AirLearn, learning a language can be fun too. AirLearn is one of the top language learning apps out there with a 4.7 rating in the App Store and paid users in over 125 countries. AirLearn keeps language learning engaging with dynamic teaching slides and interactive methods that highlight vocabulary and real-world usage. The lessons are fast, fun, and designed to make grammar, vocabulary, and context stick. So you're not just learning words, you're actually learning how to use them. Plus, AirLearn's Words tab makes it easy to review vocabulary and reinforce the lessons you've already done without having to repeat a bunch of stuff you've already covered. And if, like me, you need a little extra push, AirLearn's competitive leagues will ensure that you stay motivated throughout your language learning journey. A little friendly rivalry never hurts. And the best part, no ads, no distractions, just pure language learning. To start learning a new language today, download AirLearn for free by using the link in the description below.
Yeah, there's Shalabal is just the second Silver Surfer, and there's nothing wrong about it. We're also in an alternate universe. Also, she looks pretty great in this trailer. It's Julia Garner. She looks really cool, and she's not doing any kind of modulated voice. It's just her voice, but she seems pretty devout in her mission to declare this world as marked for death. Now, when she said that in the trailer, Jess, were you thinking, Aubrey Plaza's coming?
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about that at all. That's funny. That's a good idea.
So I was the one.
Well, it's because this universe, this world they live in is very 60s Fantastic Four. And then to watch this woman with a skull face walk in, I'm like, ooh.
Why not? She was there in colonial times.
No, 100%. That makes more sense because colonial times, they're afraid of like any mystic thing. In the 60s, it was like, bring it on. I'm high as hell. And so I'm like, so that this would be like, I was gonna say this would be like the giving like a pilgrim boy like an iPhone. They'd be like, what is that? What is that? They wouldn't be scared. They'd be just like, is this a ghost? Who is this? A little bugaboo?
I mean, a case could be made. A case could be made that some elements of WandaVision and Agatha could creep their way into this movie. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't want to get on a Mephisto train for Fantastic Four. I'm just saying there is a Westview Easter egg in this trailer. There is some Halloween stuff in this trailer. There's Franklin Richards in this movie, and Franklin Richards' governess is Agatha Harkness, and was the first introduction to Agatha Harkness in Marvel Comics. And they need some nanny at some point in their lives, right? Why can't it be Agatha?
I don't see why it couldn't be.
We don't know what character Natasha Lyonne is playing. Could she be playing an alternate universe Agatha Harkness?
That'd be very fun. And it would make a lot of sense.
I mean, I kind of see it.
It would make a lot of sense. They have the exact same hair.
I kind of see it. But no, I don't think it's going to happen. But something big is going to happen in this movie. I was pretty shaken by how bright and positive and fun and festive and celebratory it starts off. Halfway through the trailer, it just gets dragged into madness and chaos and doom and fear. And I thought it was such a crazy, really fun tonal shift. I think how far they're willing to go to make this a really bleak movie could be what helps Fantastic Four stand out in a very crowded month of July of releases of Superman. I think Superman's going to be a really great movie. I think Jurassic World Rebirth is going to be a very fun movie and might be, of the three, the most profitable. But Fantastic Four is going to end the month. And it could do so in a really dark way. I mean, that's what this trailer is suggesting. It's suggesting that, like, the Fantastic Four are going to have to choose between their baby Franklin and everyone on this planet. And they're lying to the people of Earth. Like, the trailer ends with Reed Richards saying, "We promise we'll protect you." And it's like, are you just straight up lying to them? Or are you going to do your best to protect them? I don't think he can make that promise with any kind of confidence because we know Galactus is going to get there. He's not devouring the Earth. He's walking among the buildings, which means he's looking for something on Earth. All of us believe he's looking for the baby. He wants the baby. He wants that baby reality warper to do something, to stop this universe from being destroyed through an incursion, to revitalize his dead universe. But does that mean we're going to see the Earth of this movie be destroyed? I mean, look at this shot. Is that Earth?
I mean, that would make for a damning movie. To watch Earth get blown up. Yeah. And it's not like Earth hasn't been blown up before in other realities.
It hasn't. And I mean, we saw Tiamat hatch out of Earth, but like in a vision that Arishem gave Cersei in Eternals, right? Like he's like, this will happen. And then it started to happen, but then it got stalled at the end of Eternals. I mean, disaster movies make buku money. Like that changes what this movie is from just being a superhero movie where the Earth is saved to a disaster movie where the Earth is destroyed. Like we're looking at Independence Day. We're looking at Don't Look Up. We're looking at the Day After Tomorrow, 2012. Like it kind of makes Fantastic Four a different genre of movie if they let it happen.
Yeah, I could see it happening though. And this would be like the thing that ushers in Doomsday. Or Secret Wars. Like this is the last time we see the Fantastic Four until that. They end the movie getting zapped to Battleworld. But yeah, I mean, hey, I feel like it would be a crappy thing to happen, but I could see it happening.
I feel like they are so hitting us over the head with how perfect this alternate universe New York is, how happy everyone is, how grateful everyone is, and almost kind of an infantilized mindset. A bunch of firefighters being like, "Thank you, Fantastic Four." I mean, think about that. New York firefighters in our world are the people we thank for being the first responders, right? Like after 9/11, like you can be a New York fighter and you can do no wrong, right? They are heroes of our world. So to see firefighters thanking the Fantastic Four, "Thank you, Fantastic Four." Like
in their universe, the Fantastic Four is the firefighters.
Yeah, they're the first responders. They're the scoop. They get the scoop first responders. They're responders 0. So I just think it's meant to be a little cringy when we see that in the trailer. It's meant to be kind of like, God, these kids, right? Am I crazy?
I guess, yeah, that makes sense if they're like, yeah, look at how happy everything is. Oh, it all went bad. It all went bad.
Yeah, what's crazy is how many kids we're seeing in this world, and are the Fantastic Four going to let these kids burn and die?
It's also, to be fair, video footage of these people being like, "Thank you, Fantastic Four." It could be staged.
Right. Yeah. It could be. I think there's a genuine love, but there's definitely something. Yeah. It's staged for us, the viewers, I think, to like make us feel a little uncomfortable. Like there's going to be a certain cathartic satisfaction in seeing the Fantastic Four go through so much scorn and hostility from these same people. Like they're going to be like, whoa, wait, hold on. You've saved us countless times. And just for your one baby, you're going to let hundreds of millions of other babies die.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that what made, I guess, the new Wolverine more tantalizing, was knowing that he might have destroyed his entire world?
Ooh, yeah. Not only that, another Pedro Pascal joint, The Last of Us. It's the same kind of ethical debate that's being waged in The Last of Us. And I think there's a monomyth reason why that is such a heart-wrenching discussion for viewers. It's like, I told you we'd preach at you, audience. It's God's dilemma to sacrifice his own son on behalf of entire humanity, right? And I think anybody who grew up going to church or to Bible school or whatever it is, you grow up knowing that story, and that's why we're told you should love God because he gave up his only son. I think to see other people who are kind of these Promethean figures go through that same kind of, it's also Abraham and Isaac, right? Abraham was ready to sacrifice his son for God, and God stopped him at the last second. I think that's one thing that divides the Old Testament God from humans, is that like humans are not expected to do that. Only gods have the kind of moral authority to be able to do that, to sacrifice and decide who lives and dies, and that humans shouldn't do that. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways you can interpret these Bible stories. I'm not telling you the one way to look at it, but I was Catholic and I grew up with priests telling us this is how you should interpret it. So sorry, that's just the way my brain works.
Catholics.
All right, so we checked that box. You got some Sunday morning God in your life. You're welcome. But I want to run through some other possibilities. If this isn't the actual Earth being destroyed, the Earth of the Fantastic Four, what else could this moment be?
Yeah, it could just be a separate planet.
Yeah, some other
planet.
It
could be just another planet. It could, because it could be just Galactus devouring the planets, and it could just be like, this was one of the last planets that Galactus devoured, and then they get the signal like, oh, there's a being from another planet that I'm going to go eat.
So they go check out some other planet that Galactus has gotten to first, or maybe this is during their earlier space flight. They see Galactus doing this, or just the immediate aftermath of Galactus having done this. Because when we talk about Galactus like devouring a planet, he doesn't bite it like an orange. He kind of drains it.
Who bites an orange? What are you talking about?
I do. I'm a madman.
No, you're a crazy person.
The peel. You just eat the peel. It's the best part.
What are you talking about? You could have said an apple.
I meant to say like a peeled orange.
But you still don't bite into it.
You can.
You can bite into a lot of things, Eric.
You can't. You don't have time. There's no time. If you're running on a marathon and then, I guess they cut it into wedges and hand it to you and then you bite it and throw out the peel.
Oh, not you. I guess you just bite into it like an apple.
I'm revealing myself as someone who's never run any organized run in my life.
You're like, this is what I get to sit down.
Yeah, Kelly has run. She's run marathons before, and I've gone to the sidelines to support her. And just my walk to the route, I was like so tired, and I was like, maybe I should just go back.
I was so disappointed in you.
It's San Francisco. The hills are so steep. I had to walk up Lower Haight and get into
your wife is
Haight-Ashbury.
Running 20 miles.
Market gets so steep at that point.
Yeah, and she's running.
And she's running up and down the Richmond, up through.
You're like, I drank the water.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Just the part in Marin County to get back up to the bridge. It's like the worst part, reportedly, I'm told. Look how much I'm being drained and tired to describe the route.
The athlete.
Never having run it myself.
I understand.
You're right. I should have said apple. I think that's the takeaway. Are there other fruits that you can just pick up and bite right into?
Technically, you can a kiwi and a mango.
A kiwi you can.
Yes,
a kiwi has the furry kind of.
You can eat it, and I do eat it.
Why? Okay, so you went on me for oranges, and you're biting into kiwis.
But, okay, no one eats a peel of an orange. Not a single person. I think actually maybe 10% of the world might, but there is definitely 70% of the world that is. You're not a dog. Also, Darla's evil.
She is. Darla she's a little terror.
She's like, and that should be an example of why not to eat the orange peels, because this demon dog does it.
If you see me in the LA area walking my dog, just be very careful approaching me.
Do not come near my
you can
3
see,
foot
can wave
long
me
dog.
from.
Not
Yeah,
3
she
foot,
will snap at you.
1 foot, 1/2. How long is she? Like maybe
how long is she?
A foot?
Yeah, she's like
exactly
2 to 3 feet long.
She's so tiny, dude.
Yeah, but she's mean. Okay, so Galactus does not just eat it like an apple. He doesn't bite into it, chew it for a bit, take another bite. He goes up to a planet and like drains it. He drains it. Actually, everyone gets on Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer from 2007 for depicting Galactus as a space cloud.
Yeah, the cloud.
But really, the process by which he drains the life force from that planet was accurate. Like, from their perspective on the surface of the planet, that is kind of what it would look and feel like. But, there's a lot of different depictions of how Galactus devours worlds. He is larger than a planet. Like, it often is shown just kind of hovering in front of his face, looking like a grape to him, but a really large grape. So this shot could be him just like after he has drained all of it. Because you see, like, it's crazy to look at a planet from space this way, where you look like volcanic clouds bursting out of the side of it. That cloud of dust is in space. It's not within an atmosphere, but it looks like it's within an atmosphere. So this is just a gnarly shot for a lot of reasons. How many worlds out there have had like mostly blue ocean covered, but green land masses? Like, I guess my thinking is, in order for this to be another planet, the Fantastic Four would have had to have gone to another galaxy. Yeah. And are they that advanced with the Marvel one? So
we're 100% sure that's the Fantastic Four's ship.
That is their ship. Okay. That's definitely their ship. I just don't know what planet this is. I think it could be kind of similar to what Arishem demonstrated to Cersei. It could be like Galactus on Tatu saying, like, this is what I'm going to do to your planet if you don't do this. So he's kind of like making the bargain. I don't think, I think baby Franklin will be born in space in this movie. You see in the February teaser, Sue and Reed are like posed in a way where Sue is definitely in labor and they're on a spaceship. They're like floating. And in this new trailer, you see Sue, it looks like she's coming back from space and all the reporters surround them. And it looks like they're being like, she's holding something. And this shot right here, doesn't look like she has something in her arms, and it could be a newborn baby in her arms, and they're coming back and they're like, wait, so what are you gonna do? It looks like they're coming back from space, because some of these other shots, I just don't know if, I think he's headed out to space here. They kind of reordered the shots, I think. It could be Galactus like having some very realistic demonstrations of what the future will look like. So I don't know. I would just be surprised if they actually do destroy the Earth and this planet, if they show that in the trailer. I think this is kind of an example of deceptive editing, where they're just trying to say, like, it could happen in this movie. But I want to pose like a theory to you, Jess. Do you think this could be like, we'll see the world destroyed, but there will be a kind of time loop where they loop through time? You know how Loki did a loop through time? Superman in 78 did this.
I can see that, because right now they're going against themselves. There's no additional help, it looks like, in their universe. It's just the Fantastic Four. And if they're only doing what they know through literal science and math, they're probably going to be interrupting space and time.
Yeah, like creating a kind of a spatial wormhole. My only worry with that is it's something we've seen before, but like there's a weird little moment at the beginning of the trailer where the thing picks up a green bug, which a lot of people online are saying that is what Superman does on Action Comics #1. So is Marvel saying, is there like a little shadow war happening between Marvel Studios and Matt Shakman and James Gunn and DC Studios, where they're both trying to say, like, our movie's going to win July. No, my movie's going to win July. And they're both doing little things to try to like borrow vibes and visuals from each other.
Is it specifically that bug?
Yeah, it's a green bug.
Is it a green bug, or is it a green 1962, 1968?
Well, like, it's not that specific, because it was 39.
I'm like, I don't think so.
It was, this is the image, right? It wasn't a bug, because this was back in 38.
And that's a 4-door.
Right. And this is the 60s version of what the Volkswagen Bug looked like.
I mean, anyone can go believe what they want.
I don't think
it's deliberate. I love these cars in the back, though.
Yeah,
I love both these Fantastic Four cars in the back.
The classic
Those
Ford.
Clearly blue and white cars in the back. Give me an old Ford.
The reason I bring it up is, like, is Matt Shakman kind of calling the shot here? Like, we're going to do something that makes you believe the way Richard Donner's Superman movie made you believe. And we're going to do like a time loop thing where they save the world, but like have to figure out what price they pay, and they're going to use time travel to save the planet. I hope that's not the case. Because we saw that in Doctor Strange. We saw that in Loki, just kind of going again and again and again, endlessly through time until you find a solution.
I think that's not Fantastic Four's fault if they do that, because it's like the Reed is the smartest man on the planet. Like, he's going to solve, the whole reason they do most of their things is through science and math. So it makes sense for them to actually be disrupting space and time, where like Doctor Strange didn't have to.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it kind of sucks that maybe they will go along the same lines as those ones, but it's still like, I'm like, that I don't think that's at the fault of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, the Fantastic Four from the early issues of the comics were time travelers.
Yeah,
they went back to ancient Egypt.
That's all they do.
Battled Kang. He wasn't Kang yet. He was Pharaoh Rama-Tut, but eventually they would battle what were revealed later to be the different forms of Kang. Whereas Doctor Strange was not considered a time traveler in the comics. They needed the time stone to be in the movie, and then Scott Derrickson chose to make the movie about time. And a very interesting, cool structure. But you're right. Evan actually talked about this on the break room this week when he did this really great solo stream.
How dare he?
Reacting straight. He was so fun.
How dare he?
Why would you do that? No, go watch that stream. He answers a lot of questions and discusses a lot of cool theories that people with him were talking about. And one of the things that he latched onto was we hear Reed Richards say, I pushed the boundaries of space and they heard. And then he said, there's not enough time. So you have space and time, like two different elements of the universe, right? Together, they form space-time, which gets back to the Einstein, theory of relativity, and how they are affected by each other. They're both affected by gravity, or like our processing of time is different if we're adjacent to a black hole, and that great immense pulls of gravity can affect the way time works. And that's something Reed is exploring on his chalkboard in this movie. I'm curious what you think his plan to stop Galactus is. Like, how is he going to try to stop him?
There is no way I would ever know the answer to that. And I think there's smarter people on the planet that would. I definitely do not know at the extent of what math and science he could bring to the table that could actually stop Galactus, but I'm sure there is an equation out there. It seems like this was really set up for Kang the Conqueror, which unfortunately, damn, was it ever. Like, it was, him pushing the boundaries of space and time was literally what they were doing. That sucks. But I guess he's going to be he's going to replace that line. He's going to replace those people. Yeah, I don't know what I think he's trying to find. If I was Reed Richards, I think first I would be trying to find a way to save the people best I can before I even stop Galactus. I would put myself between the people and Galactus. So it's probably him trying to find a way to safeguard Earth before Galactus even gets there. You can't stop Galactus from moving. That's impossible, but maybe you can move the Earth.
Yeah, you can, relocate the Earth. In Lost.
Did they do this in Lost? Wait, it went that big in Lost? That's not grounded at all, Erik. How do you like this show?
Oh, you'll see when you watch it. In Lost, in later seasons, the island does get displaced from time.
Shut the fuck up.
And
Wait,
it is
what?
bouncing around. Yeah, the whole island bounces around because we learned that the island itself is not grounded in rock. It is it's not floating, but it is its own kind of anomaly that can detach from space and time. So at one point they get off the island and then a big flash of white comes and you just look and there's just water there now because the island itself is a different points in the time stream.
Shut the hell up,
this is why
dude.
I love the
Shut
show.
the hell up.
And this is actually where the fan base, there were some loyalists who had stuck with it up until this point. There were some people who were like, I can't do it. I was still on board.
I haven't gotten far enough in Lost, but I completely understand from the perspective of I haven't gotten far enough in Lost. Maybe I will get that far, but I was like, I would probably be like, no, this is so much crap.
It does get insane.
The science is too crazy.
Well, the island's location also moves around.
Okay.
That's another thing that they kind of suggest later in the run that that's why the island's so hard to find. It does kind of have an electromagnetic cloaking thing, so you can't navigate your way to it. But also it is moving around. And so that is one way that Ben and other characters are able to keep the island from being attacked from some outside forces is they just move it. And I wonder if Reed could do that with Earth. He could relocate it to another dimension, to another galaxy, or he could do that to Galactus, open an incursion, a localized incursion around either Galactus or the planet and just move it.
Yeah.
There's also these shots of Galactus at the end of the trailer. I love it. They're great. There's no people. Right?
He might have got everyone off Earth.
Yeah, the windows are boarded up. And it's wait. So I think some people are underground. There's a shot of everyone underground looking up, nervous, what, like, dust is falling down. This
is what they did with Godzilla. And let me tell you, it did not save them in the right. They had to get out eventually.
Yeah. So, and I think in this shot, you do see the Fantastic Four up here doing something. So I think Reed's plan is to like evacuate a lot of the major cities. I think they're trying to do everything they can. Like another way to do this is to build like a life raft. But could you build a life raft big enough to move 6 billion people, which I assume is the population of Earth at that point?
How many were left on for Thor's people when they had to get on that ship?
Oh, it was just like, I think the number was somewhere less than 1,000. There are very few.
Hey, Titanic it up. Only 1,000 of you guys are going on, and it's women and children first.
And then half of them were killed by
that is also
Ebony
true.
Maw and the rest of
true.
them. And then I think another half might have gotten dusted.
So not all of you make it. And that's a sacrifice I'm willing to take. I'm willing to make.
It's crazy. Like I am at a point now where it's harder for me to watch disaster movies. I think I'm just old and I've been broken because I have a child now. But like, it was hard for me to watch Paradise. It's hard for me to watch clips of things like Greenland or 2012 or like End of World Stories. Don't Look Up. I'll watch those movies once and I'll never rewatch them again because it's just too sad for me to imagine, like, to see parallels to what's happening in our world. Like, I don't like seeing people fleeing through streets and being crushed by kaijus anymore. It's especially if the kaijus win. It's like hard. It's hard for me to watch Godzilla -1 and Monarch and these other things.
What was I watching the other day? Oh, I was watching 28 days. 20. I was watching 28 Weeks Later, and I was like, wouldn't it be nice if we could just all reset? And I was like, do you know how great that would be for the planet, the vegetation, if we all just got swamped by zombies? And my roommate was like, Jessica, no.
I mean, The Last of Us right now, it's kind of hard.
It's me watching. I'm one of those people, but that's also because it's me and my cat. It's me and my cat. And I'll tell you right now, if it's the aliens from Quiet Place, I'm not surviving because my cat talks too much. My cat talks too much. But if it is okay that my cat talks a lot, it's me and my cat. And I'm also like, I'm just like, you know what? If this is my time, it's my time.
That's how, with the aliens from A Quiet Place. Yes, I think I could still survive something like.
You could do 28. Oh no, those ones are running.
Well, here's the thing: 28 days later. You just broke down the trailer for this.
Yeah.
Go watch that video. It's on the channel now.
That's fine.
Is it only in Britain?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So, like, if you're in France,
fine.
If you're in Netherlands, you're fine.
Hey, it's not great how America's handling it in the movie, but let me tell you. Technically, we're good. So actually, we could do 28 Weeks Later.
Yeah, I think that's the most survivable one. You just live your life in LA.
Renner dies, yes, 100%, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make, you guys. Come on, here we go.
Jeremy Renner is in this?
He's in 28 Weeks Later, yeah.
Oh, he's in the second one.
Anytime there's a soldier, any kind of soldier in a movie.
It's like Hurt Locker era Jeremy Renner.
He was typecasted. They were like, oh, he's perfect for military movies now.
I mean, that was kind of his casting for Hawkeye. Yeah, like the version of the character is kind of based out of that.
They saw that and was like, oh, he's going to be great for this one, a military hawk guy.
That's probably survivable. I feel like I could survive cordyceps just by not eating bread and going out to the woods.
Well, we would have died at the beginning because we did eat the bread. You know what I'm saying?
I eat a lot of carbs.
No one thinks about this with The Last of Us. If you have celiac disease, you were basically good. Like you were the survivors. If you did not eat bread, you were great. I was munching down bread.
Well, yeah. Or I think if you lived in a populated city, you'd be screwed because like Austin fell apart real fast.
Yeah, we would have been
Austin's not that big. In LA, there's no way we're getting out.
Yeah, we're not good for The Last of Us. We're great for 28 Weeks Later. That's great to know. We would be horrible with Galactus coming. I'm sorry. I think we're all gonna die when Galactus shows up. Yeah. Because it's also like you're evading the Galactus, one thing. You're also evading the Silver Surfer. Yeah. And she's going to keep eyes on all of us. Yeah. She's literally going through the streets being like, they're over here to the left. And I'm like, oh, great.
I mean, Silver Surfer alone is causing some atmospheric disturbances. Just when they look up at the sky, there's meteors falling. They're going to hit something.
Yeah, and Silver Surfer doesn't care about us. They're like, I just work for Galactus right now.
I'll be curious to see like how well we get to know. Because like Silver Surfer in the 2007 movie didn't even talk for the first half. Like we didn't really get to know him until Sue Storm talks to him after he's been captured.
He was only comfortable with
And then Jessica he opens up this little like TV on his abs. And it shows like his home world and talks about Galactus. What's so crazy about Galactus in that movie is like he passes by Saturn and you see his antlered shadow. And then they just decided like in the third act, we'll just make him a cloud. Like they were right there. And I think this movie I go back and forth. Like we're talking, Brandon and I were talking. Like, is Thunderbolts going to be the Marvel movie of the year, or is Fantastic Four? I think people are really excited for Thunderbolts.
I think different crowds for different audiences, different movies for different audiences. Because I think Fantastic Four is kind of not completely like Superman, but in the regards of like, oh, I've been waiting for this. I wanted this to return, and I'm so happy to go back to my roots. Thunderbolts is new, and that's like, oh, this is just unsuperhero people. Like I could be a Thunderbolt. I can't be a Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I think like even like a few weeks ago, I was saying like this movie is going after Pixar Incredibles audience. And I think that's just like the first half of this trailer. I think they're going after them. But really now, after this trailer, they're going after the audience who like misses movies like Deep Impact and Armageddon and like wish that Don't Look Up didn't have so much preaching in it. You know, like I think they are going after the disaster movie addicts. And they want to see like they're building this final shot of Galactus stomping around is a miniature. Like these are cars. These are little toy cars. That's a miniature. Like they're trying to do classic Toho style Godzilla movie, disaster movie stuff. And that stuff, like, I don't know if Marvel has really embraced that. Like Eternals almost embraced it.
Yeah. I think they get a pass though, because they're also doing a 60s aesthetic. It just feels like, even in their own world, I'm like, aesthetically, this is great for you to use a miniature for this stomping.
Oh, they should. And
I'm
Marvel
like,
needs to do this more.
This is what you're doing. This is like, you're not only giving us the aesthetic of what the movie is, give us the aesthetic of behind the scenes, what it would also be for the 60s version of the Fantastic Four. Yeah. I think this is it's so fun. It's so remarkable. I was more excited for Thunderbolts because I've seen Fantastic Four a million times in some sort of way. And I was like, yeah, I'm excited for it, but I'm more excited for Thunderbolts. But then after this trailer, I was like, this trailer is very good. This trailer is very good. I'm going to have a ball of a time. I'm very excited for the summer now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it could be different enough from, like, I think Superman as a film is going to try to get us to believe. And there's a lot of like hope imbued in this. I think this movie wants us to despair and think about like, would we give up our kid to save up the whole world? Like that's a bleak subject matter. But it's also a very like, I mean, disaster movies is something that's on a lot of people's minds right now. I think that's why in this movie you see cinema marquees with like Attack of the Fungi, which I think is The Last of Us, Pedro Pascal thing. But they're trying to like, in a world where these people are going to cinemas and seeing like biological disaster movies of these parasitic things that take over the world, like, what if you walked out of that cinema and saw a giant space god stomping around your home?
I just take it. I take the L. But that's also because I'm a person with just a cat. I'm not gonna. What am I gonna do against Galactus? Nothing. I'd be like, if it's like, if it was Kang, or if it was the Silver Surfer by itself, I'd be like, okay, someone's gonna stop them. A man that's bigger than our planet that can talk. I'm like, I don't think so. I thought maybe he was more like animal predator than he is like closer to human, but he has a brain and he is smart. Like, I'm not doing this. If Galactus was literally like that cloud, not saying that the cloud was just brainless wandering, but I was like, if I imagine it more like the beast that was in Loki, I'd be like, someone can stop it. Someone can rile it up. Someone can get a lasso and lasso it. Nah, Galactus is a normal thing.
Well, that's why I think a lot of people in this world will drop to their knees and praise him.
Yeah,
like we 100. Didn't see that. We didn't see the public reaction to Thanos.
They won't do it. They won't allow it.
They won't. Because
they won't. They can't. But I wish they could. Because I like, there was people that were like, Thanos is right.
But all we got was just like, you had to wait a couple years for Hawkeye to come out on Disney Plus and you see it written on a urinal.
But it's a joke.
Wouldn't it be fun if in Endgame, some of the people in that support group were like, maybe this was our God. Maybe this was best God.
For us. This was judgment. This was literal.
We never saw that kind of cult form.
This was literally redoing the earth. It was literal redoing the earth. And some were chosen and some were not. I would literally be like, this was a God. This was.
Well, that's why I think like the MCU is ready for a true disaster story. Like the closest we've gotten, like in Multiverse of Madness, we saw the aftermath in another universe. In Avengers Infinity War, Thanos succeeded. But all we see is like some people dust. We see a bit of it with Nick Fury and Maria Hill when the helicopter crashes in New York, but it looks about as dangerous as the Battle of New York did. And then some people dust away. And then really we see the aftermath of it 5 years later in Endgame, you know, whales in the Hudson, San Francisco seems kind of junky. And then there's a new graveyard that overlooks the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge. In New York, there's boats moored. Citi Field, the Mets aren't playing. Like, the worst thing that happened in Endgame was the Mets aren't playing anymore. And I know half the population's gone, but we never really saw the impact. We saw some of the impact on the Avengers, and I thought that was really well done. But what I'm saying is we needed more blip fiction in the MCU to just show how average people were affected by that. And
all we saw were like the people that retaliated. Were like this flag smashers, and didn't we see someone recently, another group that was like, we were affected by the blip, that's why we're acting out?
I mean,
or is it just the flag? No, there was another person in our group that was like, I was affected by the blip and no one cares. Who the hell was it?
I know in Eternals, they kind of touched on the fact that, like, because Earth's population suddenly repopulated, that kind of sparked Tiamat to wake up.
That makes sense. I thought it was something recent, like Daredevil Born Again, but I might be wrong. I might be completely wrong. I don't think anyone really talked about the blip in Daredevil Born Again.
I feel like they never talk about it.
Yeah, ever. Because it messed up everyone's scripts. It messed up everyone's equations. Netflix was like, okay, what do we do now? And then it was great. I like the blip, but I understand why people were like, this kind of a lot of things up.
I think it was an opportunity to tell some really cool stories, and I think Marvel just like never took that opportunity.
I think people are also afraid to touch it. If you're a creative, you're like, I don't know the math of it, because it's not like every writer inside Marvel knows as much as we even do about the MCU. They're just like, no, I got put on this project. I watched the project that it's connected to. She-Hulk didn't involve the blip. Like, if you're taking over a project that, like, Daredevil Born Again, and last time we saw him was a She-Hulk, you're not gonna know. You're like, wait, why does the blip matter for us? And I'm like, the blip matters a lot to you guys.
It should matter. I think the reason they do it is age. Like, they don't want to say some people lived 5 years longer.
Yeah, 100.
And they already established that rule in Spider-Man Far From Home, how some kids age 5 years more.
I feel like that's the only part where it's hard, though, is when it's kids. Because you're like, one's 19 and one's 13.
Yeah. If characters are in their 30s or 40s, we don't know the difference between a 38-year-old and a 43-year-old.
What? You're going to tell me that?
No one knows the difference.
You're going to be like, well, Kingpin was 40, now he's 45. I'd be like, I don't care.
Yeah, especially with someone like Sebastian Stan as Bucky. He's 100-something years old.
Yeah,
he doesn't age.
He's already 150.
It doesn't matter.
It does not matter.
It wouldn't have mattered. And you can introduce new characters and just decide that they survived the blip and show. I mean, the closest we've gotten is like Echo, right? Echo, but they didn't really focus on that. It's just like they waited for YouTubers like us to be like, hey, technically this takes place during the blip. Isn't that interesting? And I bet the people who wrote that were like, oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. We were just thinking it was the past.
Oh, but you can see people outside. I'm like, well, that's your guys' fault.
Yeah, you can see vaguely the lights on over at Citi Field, and the Mets are playing. So you forgot to erase that. So yeah, I don't know. I think Fantastic Four First Steps, it's in another universe, and now they just feel okay, showing how the public reacts to bad things really happening, and real bad things. Because Eternals almost got there.
Yeah.
And everything else has been the Battle of New York, where it's just like, what, 40 people died? You know? Like, let's see what happens when billions of people die.
Yeah, and good New Yorkers, which I know is rare to find. I'm joking. Well, I'm joking.
It's going to be like a Noah's Ark story, I think. You know, it would always freak me out when I was a kid, again, getting a Catholic education, and we'd get these books, and they would tell the story of Noah. And I have this like distinct memory of like flipping to some artist rendering of just like all these people, hedonists, who were just in the water screaming, pounding on the hull of Noah's Ark, begging to be let on. And it's like thundering and raining and just seeing masses and masses of people. And then around that time, I saw Titanic as a kid, and I was like, it's just like that. And it shook me. And I was mad at Noah. I was like, I don't care what God told you. Throw a rope down, man.
No, I was supposed to do my job. And I'm taking these two.
No, God told me to take 2 of every animal and my family. And at some point, I'm going to make my son my daughter to keep the humanity going.
Erik, we're not here to make people hate the Bible. We're not here to make people
I'm not saying hate the Bible. I'm just saying it was kind of a weird plan.
Why would you do that? Also, save the 8,000 people in the water. Also, VeggieTales never showed me the dead veggies in the water. They just showed me the boat on the water and then a song. So I don't believe that there were actual people in the water.
I needed VeggieTales as a kid. Instead, I got this horrifying imagery of just like Very scary. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. These disaster stories, they're monomyth. We grew up knowing that gods would punish human beings. And we have not seen that kind of Old Testament wrath inflicted on the average everyday people. I mean, Sentry's kind of doing it now in Thunderbolts. And that's kind of, I think, why deep down we're really excited to see Thunderbolts. We want to see people scared because we're scared. We're scared. Here comes Peter Cottontail, hopping down the bunny trail. Hippity hoppity.
How do you explain this to the babies that are on the playground? You're like, okay, so we're all gonna die.
Well, you don't bring up that.
Well, how am I gonna stop? They're gonna be like, teacher, Miss Clemons told us that it was just rain upstairs, but it sounds like a giant foot. It's about to step on us. I'd be like, oopsies.
Man, my kid's gonna go to school and be like, my daddy for his job watches these scary shows and disaster things where they say bad words and rip the police commissioner's jaw off his face.
Oh my God.
Can we do that for playtime today?
Baloney. They're gonna be like, wow, where'd you get that new cool Spider-Man shirt? And they're like, my dad made it.
Or they're gonna be like, hey, your dad's a dumbass because he thought that Mephisto was gonna be in the spinoff of Ironheart.
On the playground, they're like, look at your dad saying stupid lies.
I'm legitimately like gaming out and worried about my son getting
once
bullied.
Once he's in 13, not 100% bullied, they're gonna be watching your videos once they're like literally.
I mean, am I
11,
still making videos
10.
at that point, or do I just retire to the world of podcasting because I'm too gray?
I still think they'll watch it because you're talking about the stuff they're watching.
See, I think their dads will watch it, and these kids will be watching like Dude Perfect 4.
That's what you
like. No, I'm not going to be on that. It's going to be some like Mr. Shit, like Mr. Beast's son.
And you're going to be talking about
videos.
it. You're going to be talking about Mr. Shit, Mr. Shit, and Dude Perfect 14.
All right, so I think we have covered a lot from this Fantastic Four trailer. And I don't think this shot of the planet being destroyed is actually this Earth being destroyed, but I do think it's like a warning that they are seeing. And I just think that Galactus on Tatu has some really good high-def 4K projectors that can just make stuff look really realistic.
100%. I feel like it's just in his eyes.
In his eyes.
Is that a God song? Stop it.
Your eyes, I'm incomplete. All right, so this week on New Rockstars, tonight is what
Easter.
might be a very big is still Easter. The Last of Us episode 2 comes out, and we haven't seen it. We don't know what's going to happen, but we have a good prediction of what might happen. And if something crazy happens, you'll know about it, and then you'll be able to see a video on the New Rockstars channel tomorrow morning that kind of shows you our reactions to it. So be sure to watch The Last of Us on HBO. It's a good show. And it also has Pedro Pascal in it. And then the Easter egg breakdown of that episode will come out Tuesday. We'll need some time for it. And then Andor hits Disney Plus. First 3 episodes of Andor's second season. Disney Plus is doing Andor dirty, unfortunately. They're releasing it in these batches rather than weekly, or even doing like 2 at a time. They're doing 3 at a time. And these are long episodes.
So is it only 3 weeks?
It's 4 weeks. There's a total of 12 episodes. And I've seen the first 3.
Wait, every episode's like over 30 minutes?
Every episode's like 50 minutes.
12 episodes.
12 episodes. Yeah, and that's kind of how season 1 was, but they released it weekly. And I think they started with like 3 or 4.
Well, they probably don't want it to go 12 weeks.
I guess that's the reason why.
But then they shouldn't have done.
But what do they have to lose? Like, I think they don't want it to bump up against Ironheart.
They don't want it, but which I don't mind them doing, because they did that with Miss Marvel and Obi-Wan, didn't they? With Kenobi,
they did.
And
they overlapped
and guess what? We were watching both, and or you were watching one or the other. So I didn't mind it. There is no way that I'm going to be like, oh, God, I wish Ironheart and Andor didn't come out at the same time. No, I'm just going to go watch
different
both
audiences,
of them. Different
or
audiences.
Same audiences who will watch
or
both.
Same. That's the thing. That's the thing. There's that does not interfere.
Well, Disney Plus is just so weird. Like, they only release stuff on like one day a week. Like, why can't they do like a Tuesday release and then a Wednesday release, or a Tuesday release and a Thursday release? It's just
they're 2 different programs. Two different programs.
Maybe they don't want to compete with HBO, who does Sunday night releases, but who cares?
That's so weird.
Amazon will do like Thursday night releases. Apple with Severance did like Thursday night to Friday releases. The studio on Apple now comes out Tuesday nights. So who cares? Like, people will watch it when they watch it. But having to drop 3 episodes at the same time just kind of means it's going to be hard for everyone to stay at the same pace and talk about it together. So I just know that when Tuesday night happens, there's going to be some people who watch all 3 episodes at night. Most people will either watch 1 or none. And then get to them throughout the week. But then, like, if you try to go online, you're going to have some people who have seen episode 1, a lot of people who haven't gotten to it yet, a lot of people who maybe don't care. And then some people who are going to be talking about what happens at the end of episode 3 a lot. And it just kind of, it dooms any chance this show has to organically build like a conversation around 100%. It online.
I don't know. I think it's a dumb idea doing 3. You could have done 2, and I think that people would have been able to catch up. Expecting people to watch 3 hours in a night.
They just won't do it. Not with this show.
If it does bad, they shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, but I think they were just committed to letting Tony Gilroy finish out this show because like a lot of people really love it, and he was contracted to do it. But I think Disney Plus was like, we don't feel confident that this is going to do numbers, so let's just kind of like dump it.
But
which is dumb because it could do numbers if you gave it a chance. I don't know. Will you be watching Andor?
No.
There you go. I think that's why they're doing it this way. Look, it's a very good show, but it's also not for everyone.
And that's the thing. I know that it's a great show. I've heard everybody watch it and be like, this is an amazing show. It's really hard for me to watch Star Wars series because there's so much information in them involved, and it takes me time. I've watched every Star Wars movie and I love them. When it comes to the series, I'm like, okay. When I watched Ahsoka, I was like, I love this. When I watched Kenobi, Kenobi was funny. Like, Kenobi was funny to me. So I was like, I'm just entertained. This is ridiculous. But it's still, like, Andor was a lot to comprehend for me. And I remember it took me a really long time to watch it without passing out because I'm a child. But I know that people love it. But it's just like, they're shooting themselves in the foot because people love it. And it cinematically is great to what every review says. So I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Don't waste this one. Don't waste this one. Stupid.
So we're hoping we'll be able to get our breakdowns out to you on Wednesdays, but no promises. It might be like a Thursday or a Friday release just because it's a lot of episodes for us to watch. We're doing all 3 episodes at a time as one video. And that's just a lot because we're also covering The Last of Us. We're also having Thunderbolts come out soon. We have all these trailers that we're trying to get to, and then we have like our own lives that we're trying to also live. So
3 hours in one night is insane.
It's a lot.
That's insane. What are they doing?
But Sinners is in movie theaters this weekend. I highly recommend you watch it. Go watch Ryan Coogler's video where he explains the different aspect ratios, the different cinematic formats you can watch it in. If you do live within an area of one of these true IMAX screens, try to see it there. Otherwise, I'm sure it's also going to be a wonderful experience however you watch it. And we will be doing an Easter egg breakdown, not an Easter egg breakdown, but just like a film analysis of that movie. And Jessica will be working on that, and it'll come out, we hope, sometime this week, if not early next week.
I have to celebrate God's Day today.
That's right.
And then I can go to Sinners. I have to wait formally for the next week for Sinners.
I mean, this movie, the praise, I've not seen it yet. The praise it's getting, I haven't seen people talk about a movie like this in a while. I hope, we know by the time this comes out what the box office will be, but it's projected to do pretty well. I hope it does better than that because like movies like this, original movies made by great directors that are making them for the big screen, this is what we need more of.
Yeah, you can put who would have thought? You can put a lot of money into a movie and it still be a good movie. You can still make a great movie with a lot of money. It just becomes about the creatives. And Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler are just,
they're on another level.
Don't let those two be in a room together ever again because they make magic.
They do.
They do it.
All right, so that's basically what's coming to the channel this week. Hopefully they release the version of the Mandalorian Grogu trailer online, and we can't wait to break that down because that is a Star Wars movie, and it's coming earlier than we thought.
They showed it was going to be
it's Celebration. Mm-hmm. We thought that movie was coming like December 2026. It's coming out in May 2026. So like a year from now, we're going to have a Star Wars movie to see again, and I'm so excited.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's great. How long has it been?
2019.
Woo!
Right, they've done re-releases of like Revenge of the Sith and Phantom Menace, and those have been fun to go to.
That's going to be exciting.
A new Star Wars movie, yeah. And then they announced that Ryan Gosling is going to star in this Sean Levy Star Wars movie that's set 5 or 6 years after Episode 9, and that's coming in May 2027. So
yeah, dude, I'll be dead by then though.
We're long gone. All right, we'll end this episode of the Sneak Peek with what we're watching. What else have you been consuming this week?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think I've been consuming anything. Genuinely. I've just been every day after work. I go home. I play 2 hours of Marvel Rivals with my friends, and then I go to my room and I read a book. I read a book until I get tired and I go to sleep. So yeah, I haven't been watching anything. That's sad. I haven't watched anything. I'm trying to think because I feel like I did try to turn on the studio last weekend. I can't watch that show. Working in entertainment, sometimes the last thing I want to do is go home and relax and still do my job. It feels like.
Okay, you're not the first person. I have a friend who's a TV writer, and she had the same reaction.
That's how I feel about a lot of TV or movies, making movies. Unless it's like a period piece, I'm like, no, it triggers me because I'm at my house trying to do free time. It's like when I'm on TikTok and I see all the work that I've done on TikTok. When a new Rockstars video shows up on my For You page, I'm like, I'm triggered because I'm at home when I want to relax. I'm trying to watch a breakdown on like true crime. It's hard. It's so hard to watch it. And then I tried watching Severance.
Oh, so you hadn't caught up on Severance?
No, I haven't caught up on Severance at all. Dude, that show is confusing.
Oh, yeah, that's the fun of it.
That show is so confusing. I was like, okay, I'm going to watch these episodes. I'm going to go to our breakdowns. And then I was like, but I couldn't get through the episodes because I was like, I'm so confused.
I think
I'm too stupid for Severance. And that's
no, you're not.
That's simply okay.
No one is.
It is. I love the actors. Obsessed with the actors. Still confused. Oh, God.
Well, I think you're watching it like looking for like the truth, the lore. A lot of people just watch Severance just for the vibes.
Yeah,
just for Mark Scout and Helly
and
their energy and their chemistry. And I mean,
insane vibes, the lunatic vibes?
Yeah.
Nah, that's crazy. I could never be calm watching that show. I'm so stressed. What is going on? Why would you volunteer your body for that?
Yeah.
What are you watching?
I more Survivor. But Kelly's parents recommended this thing. Oh, the show called The Residents on Netflix.
I heard about that. Is that the one with what's her name? The girl from Orange is the New Black.
Yes, her.
Yeah, I have not watched it. Well, it's always showing up. How is it?
It's very fun. It's like a very, very like tidy murder mystery.
Oh, is it
set in the White House?
Oh, I don't know anything about it. Just from
That's
I only
all you
know
need
the
to
poster. Okay, I only see the poster where she's like doing detective work.
She's a very fun character who's an eccentric in the way that like Benoit Blanc is an eccentric. Henri Poirot is an eccentric. Sherlock Holmes is an eccentric. You need a detective who's just like kind of living in their own world. And I love her character. The show is a little too cute by half. I find like they overplay their hand, and this is just such a cynical point of view. I understand, but it's like they just move. It's a little too quippy, in the way that like sometimes Marvelous Miss Maisel is just a little too quippy.
Yeah.
And this show I would like just to like linger on some things, and they just do a thing where they just like inundate you with clues and red herrings and just a bit too much. I thought Poker Face. I love murder mysteries, right? And I think Poker Face struck the perfect balance of like just giving you essential information and just enough red herrings. And I think if you just like drown someone in red herrings, then it's just like, all right, well, any show can do that. But it all feels so precise and tidy that you want to focus on everything. And it could just, it's very funny though. At the end of the day, it is, it's like the funniest murder mystery
That's cute.
that I've seen in a while.
That's cute.
I think Knives Out's very funny. I think Glass Onion's very funny.
Uh-huh.
But this is definitely playing for laughs more. So.
Okay, then maybe I'll watch it.
Yeah,
it's really hard to watch new things, especially if it's like an hour long. Oh my goodness, I've just been going back and watching old things. When I was watching the animated Batman series, I was like, it's long, but it's also only 20 to 30 minutes, so it's easy for me to just turn this on and just continue doing what I'm doing. I love watching TV when I'm playing video games. If I'm not playing with like my friends, like when I was replaying The Last of Us Part 2, I was watching like a movie while I was doing it. I was like, this is easy to do. So I love watching these things, but I'm like, I just don't have time to give up. Like by the time I'm done playing like a game with my friends for 2 hours after work, it's like 8 or 9. I don't have time to give you like an extra hour. I'm too busy of a person.
That's fair. I used to like be able to work. Like I would go home and I would do family stuff, and then the wife goes to bed, And then from 11 to 2:30 every day, I would just write. I would write deep dive videos. I'd write new Rockstars videos. I would just start doing research. I would do other stuff. And I could do that every night. I would do that on weekends. Now, I cannot do it.
That's a maniac.
I am so tired.
That's a maniac behavior.
That's I can't do it anymore. So that's why you haven't seen stuff on the deep dive, folks, is like...
Because I'm a human?
Because like I'm just trying to get through my work during the day and I don't have time to do it. But I will. I'll get around to it. I will find... bits and pieces.
It's
of time
when a deep dive flourishes for you when things get lower, or not lower, but like when things are paused for a moment.
Yeah.
On the normal front, like for instance, this week we had the Jurassic World. We had 28 years later. We had the Fantastic Four. We have like all Thunderbolts is coming up. They're giving out every piece of footage now. It feels like for the Thunderbolts. Sinners just dropped. Everyone's talking about it. This is the busiest, like a very busy time for us. January gets kind of slow because in Hollywood they stop making movies in January for some reason. But then after holiday season, it's like, okay, we have to wait till spring. Everything gets ramped up.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're gonna be free again until maybe August.
Who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows? I mean, yeah, this year, and we're not complaining. I'm just saying, like, every week of the year we've gotten something new. We were having like episodes of Creature Commandos and the Penguin, and we had Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Severance started, and these are like shows that we want to pour all of our love into. Then we had a February Marvel movie come out. We had Super Bowl weekend that gave us like Fantastic Four stuff that we really wanted to get into, and then. Before you knew it, it was Daredevil season, and we were trying to do these Daredevil rewatches and get these Daredevil breakdowns done.
Randomly, like a Superman trailer drops, and then we have to go live on two fronts. And just imagining that, and then also being like, oh yeah, you guys wanted me to go back and rewatch all of the Back to the Futures, and break them down. It's just kind of impossible.
I mean, for me, it's just been Christopher Nolan's Tenet,
which I love Christopher Nolan.
And if it were just Back to the Future, I probably could just knock that out because it's a movie I love that I know a lot about and I feel like I understand. Tenet is a movie that like my brain cannot contain. Like I have to be deep in Tenet to start to understand it. And the way I've been trying to break it down for the deep dive, the video is going to be incredible when it comes out because I think when I am thinking about it, I do understand it and can communicate it in a way that actually might make sense. But when I'm not working on it, it's so hard to go back to working on that.
I get that. I completely get that. You have to put yourself into Tenet.
Yeah.
Tenet, I'm in Tenet, and Tenet's in me. You have
to live and breathe Tenet and nothing else. And if you start to think about Severance or Daredevil or something, that's going to force out Maxwell's demon and all the other bullshit that Christopher Nolan put in Tenet. 100%. And it's just so hard to think about that movie because you can't just watch it and experience it and appreciate the cinematography. You have to think about the logic of every scene and all the different layers on top of it. And it's just like, it's hard. It's very hard to do.
No, 100%. I can see that.
It was stupid of me to do this. It was stupid of me to tackle Tenet. I wanted a challenge and I shouldn't have done it.
No, I love Christopher Nolan. And I don't think anyone in the world understands Tenet. Including myself.
Including Nolan.
Yeah. I said
he doesn't get it either.
Including Nolan. He wanted us to be like, break.
I think Tenet is Nolan's anxiety over what we've been talking about end of world stuff. And he's like, what if I could invert time to put the lid back on Pandora's box? And like, who would be fighting over the right to keep it open? And it's like, I think he just had an anxiety spiral for a few years. And this is even before COVID. He just had anxiety spirals after he finished Dunkirk. And he's like, how can I express this in cinematic form and get to work with Robert Pattinson? And John David Washington.
I love my mans.
Who are both doing excellent work in that movie.
Yeah,
and it gets underappreciated because the script is so dense. But like,
I love them together. I want to see them do a lot of things together. More than Tenet. Tenet was, confusing and like them doing a lot of action things. I'm like, give me a normal grounded film with these two actors and I will eat it up. They are two like friends that have been friends forever. They're in married lives now, but we're watching them both go through divorces. Or I don't even care. I just want to see them go through life. I love them.
I love them too. All right, that's been it for this episode of The Sneak Peek. We have lots of great shirt designs on nerdriot.shop. This Future Foundation shirt. We have some great Last of Us designs, like our Ellie's tattoo and moth tattoo design. It's really, really cool. Our Josie's shirt has been like one of my favorite shirts that we've ever made. Nerdriot.shop. And a big thanks to the generous channel members who support us at the executive producer level, including TDS on a Quest, Cameron, Frederick Price, and Jeremy Dunham. Very, very generous of you guys to support us in what you're doing. And you can hit that join button down below if you want to support New Rockstars through our membership option. Jess, it's been an honor.
It's been an honor.
Happy Easter.
Privilege. Happy Easter Day. Get your eggs and sing your praise.
Grab your basket and your bunny ears. Time to go and live out all your years. Praising Christ who died on a cross. If you don't follow him, you'll be lost.
Hey! Oh my God, and wait for the island. It's gonna shift around.
And Lost, oh man, it's not even that good. I think the reason people make fun of me is like, everything Erik likes about Lost, he could find in things like Doctor Who, or he could find in old Twilight Zone episodes,
100%.
or in Twin Peaks, and then he chooses Lost.
And you don't like those three?
I like all of these things.
I was like, oh my God.
I don't watch a lot of Doctor Who, but what I've watched of it, I appreciate it and
It's
like
a
it.
beautiful show.
But Lost just hit me at the right age where I'm like, nothing like this has ever been done before.
You were never a young girl.
I'm 15 years old,
Doctor Who.
and this is the only cool sci-fi show that's ever existed. Having never seen Buffy or Firefly or Twilight. I've seen
Well, you've seen them since.
I have, yes. Lost was my gateway to all these things because I would read critics' reviews of it. Jeff Jensen would open my eyes to the wonders of Twilight Zone and Twin Peaks and Buffy
Firefly
and all these things.
Perfect.
Yeah, Firefly, great season. But you just like it because of the creator of it and him doing nothing wrong.
That's crazy because you talked to me about holding his hand the other day, which is
Whoa.
crazy.
No,
You said, I love this man. Please let him do another Justice League.
Yeah, that's right. I protested outside DC Studios in Burbank. I said, James Gunn needs to go. Bring back Joss. He's our bro.
He's our bro. And you said, and also Zack Snyder can come back.
No. I said, I Richard Donner, I went and I just like spat on his grave and I said, Joss Whedon's the only good director.
You said, this is crazy. This is insanity.
All right, it's got off the rails. Bye, everybody. Have a good week.